So, mouthful, super rude to talk.
No, they're enjoying it with us. You can hear it. We just need to invent smell-o-vision.
Isn't it funny how like smells and tastes can just trigger those kind of memories? I think everybody has an example or some experience they've had in their life where they eat something or smell something and oh, it makes me think of.
Yeah.
That's what these ribs do for us. It does for me. What's up, everybody? My name's Alan and welcome to We Should Grill. We're so excited you're here with us today. Today we're going to be making one of my personal favorites that's always a hit, are my ribs. I tell you what, whenever these ribs are made, we have people over, football games, celebrations, 4th of July, which is right around the corner. They're always a hit. And I tell you what, we're going to be making them on my Green Mountain Grill pellet grill. This has been a fantastic grill, I gotta be honest with you. Had it for a few years. I have literally cooked hundreds of racks of ribs on this, which is why that's my first feature today. I want to make sure we're showing you something that is battle tested. This Green Mountain Grill is battle tested. So I tell you what, we turned this on. It took a little bit of time for it to heat up, but we have it at 225, which is the perfect temperature for ribs. We got it ready to go, so I'll tell you what, let's go get those ribs and get them on. All right, everybody, we're inside now. We're gonna get these ribs ready to go put out on the smoker. We're actually gonna dry rub them both. I think that's the best way to go about doing it. We're gonna trim them up a little bit. Gonna dry rub both of them, but when I go to actually prepare them and put them on the smoker, I'm gonna leave one with just dry rub, and then the other one I'm gonna add sauce and butter. Two different ways to make them, and we'll see how they both come out. I think they're both gonna be great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim these up just a little bit, just so they're, you know, a little bit more appealing visually. So on most of these St. Louis style ribs, they have a little flap on the end here, which we're gonna cut off. That tends to burn and kind of get tough. It's kind of like making pork jerky. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that right now. Okay, we're gonna do that to both of these sets of ribs, okay? Because we want them to kind of be squared off on the end. The corners of these will tend to burn if you don't trim them off, so we wanna make sure that you do that. Luckily, these sets of ribs don't have a lot of extra fat, and honestly, you don't want to trim off all the fat. The fat rendering is what really makes them tender and makes them tasty, so we want to be careful of that. I went ahead and took the film and off the backside, the silver film. Some people say that you should, you shouldn't. I think it's really up to your choice of what you want. Taking them off makes them get a little bit more seasoned on the back versus having it on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these ribs all seasoned up, and then we'll get them out onto the smoker. All right, so let's get these ribs seasoned up. We're going to use one of my favorites, was Killer Hog's original barbecue rub. I've been using this for a few years now and it's fantastic, okay? But look, use whatever rub you like, whatever one is your favorite rub. If you want to go a different flavor profile like a peach or a cherry or something, that's all good. I really, really like this stuff. It's always turned out really good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on here, and I tell you what, don't be shy, okay? You wanna get this on here pretty heavily, because as it cooks, it's gonna render down. And what we're gonna do is once we get these all seasoned up, we're gonna let them sit for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes to let these seasonings basically sweat, is what they call it, into the meat and into the fat, because you want it to adhere to it so that they don't fall off and drip off. So when you put this on here, you know what I mean? You don't wanna go too crazy because you want them to be over salty, but as you can see, I'm not being shy with it, and I suggest you do the same. Depending on the kind of rub you're gonna use, if it's real salt-based or something like that, you may wanna go just a little bit less, but this seasoning is fantastic. It always turns out great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of press this in, okay? Help it stay on there. And then some people do, I definitely do, is I go ahead and season the backside too, because you see all this meat on here, you want that to get nice and seasoned. In fact, this ends up being some of the best part of the St. Louis ribs. This is almost like a loin. It's just all meat, there's no bone in it. It's probably my favorite part of the rib. So we're gonna go ahead and season this real good, okay? And like I said, whatever seasoning you use, just go ahead and get it on there real good, pat it real good. It's just gonna turn out great. And once we get these all seasoned, and like I said, we're gonna let them sit for 15 or 20 minutes to sweat, and then we're gonna take them out. We're gonna put them on the smoker for about 2 hours, just open and dry. And then once they're again, we're gonna spritz them about every, 30, 45 minutes just to make sure that they stay moist. And then once that 2-hour original smoke is done, then we're gonna bring them in and wrap them. All right, guys, so these ribs are ready to go. As you can see, they're looking just beautiful. They sat for about 20 minutes or so to allow those spices to sweat and meld into the meat. These things are ready to go. Let's get them on. And the Green Mountain Grill is ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these on here. Most pellet grills, most grills in general, have a hotter end or a hotter spot on them. This one's looking a little bit thicker to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this first one more towards the hotter side of the grill, which is right here. This side over here, because the heat box is right down there, so it tends to heat it up a little bit faster. Then I'm gonna put the second one right over here, which tends to be the cooler spot on the grill. Then we come out here and we take a look at them, because like I said, we're gonna spritz these about, I don't know, every 20, 30, 40 minutes, something like that. And when we go out here to do that, if it's looking like they're not cooking evenly, might swap them around and move them. But generally, this is how, in my experience, having done this 100 times, is the best way to do it. So about the next 2 hours or so, we're gonna let them smoke at 225 degrees. We're gonna check on them about every half hour or so, give them a spritz to make sure that they don't dry out. And I tell you, some people temp their ribs as they're cooking. They need to be at 200 when they're done. I'll tell you what, I've done this so many times, and these are Allen's ribs, so we're gonna do them Allen's way. So I just tell by looking at them and tell by the time that they've spent in there when they're gonna be done. The second half of the cook, which happens after we wrap them, that's more the determining factor, but it seems like they turn out great every single time, so I'm certainly not worried about it. So we'll see you back in just a couple hours. All right, guys, it's been about an hour since you've been in here, so we're gonna take a look at them. And as you can see, the sun has kind of changed. We're filming this in the morning so we can eat these delicious ribs for lunch. So we moved the grill over a little bit so you can get a better angle, so you can take a look at these ribs and see how they're doing. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, as you can see, they are looking fantastic. But as you can see, they do need a spritz. You can see right over here, especially on this one, it's getting pretty dry right there. Part of spritzing, we're just gonna go ahead and give them the shot right here. What that does is that keeps this top moist. This can get kind of tough if you let it get too dry as they're cooking, that heavy meat side like that. We don't want it to look like jerky when it's done. So we're gonna give these spritz real good. All right, close this back up. They look like they probably got about another 45 minutes, probably not an hour, probably only about 45 minutes. Then we'll bring them in and we'll wrap them up. And once we get them all wrapped up, we'll put them back on. All right, so it's been another hour, so it's time to get these off. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at them right now. One of the key points to know that they're ready to wrap is if you see the pullback where the meat's coming off of the bone. Let's go over here and take a look at that. As you can see right here on the ends, that's important. That tells you that they're ready to come off. So we're gonna go ahead and get these. All right, let's head inside and get these wrapped. All right, so it's time to get these ribs wrapped. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm gonna wrap one of them just the way they sit. And then I'm gonna wrap the other one with some barbecue sauce and some butter and some extra fats. There's two different ways and two different concepts on how to do ribs. We're gonna try them both and see how they turn out. I think they're both gonna be great, but just something for some comparison. So this first one we're gonna put on here, we're gonna put it with no added sauces or added anything. It's actually good to go. And as you can see, there's still a lot of moisture on there. These took the perfect time to take off. I think we did it just right. I want to point out the foil. We always want to double wrap it with the foil. When you move them around, you don't want one of the corners to actually pop open, let all that steam escape, which is one of the things that helps it get tender and get done. So we're gonna go ahead and get these all wrapped up here. And I take the extra step and I use non-stick foil on the inside layer of the foil just to make sure, because some of the stuff that gets in there might get a little sticky, and you don't want to like disrupt the beautifulness of these ribs. So we'll get that all done here. Always curl the ends up like this. So you gotta make sure you wrap up the corners too. You don't want any of those juices to pour out. And we've wrapped them with the meat side down because we're gonna put them back on the smoker meat side down, because that allows more of that fat to render for them to get nice and cooked and tender. All right, so the second set we're gonna do first off, actually, is we're gonna lay down a little bit of this fantastic barbecue sauce from Killer Hogs. And look, shout out to Malcolm Reed. He's one of my YouTube heroes, and he's got a full line of sauces and rubs that I've been using for several years. And so go give him a look. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna link it down in the description so you can take a look at his site. You can actually buy all this on Amazon, so we're gonna put that in the link as well. You really should give it a try. So when you go to put the sauce down, you really don't need too much. This isn't about slathering it like you would if you're preparing to be served. This is just more about getting a little bit down in here. What it does is this actually cooks off and creates a little bit of steam and moisture that goes into the ribs. So as you can see, that's not a whole lot there, maybe 3-4 tablespoons. And then the other part that makes it so delicious is butter. Butter makes everything better, okay? But the fat from the butter really helps the ribs get moist and get tender. And the thing we do is we're gonna put down just about, 3 large pats of butter. I like to use this very traditional Irish butter too. It's the best, by the way. Thanks Costco for carrying this, because it's difficult to find anyplace else except for Costco. So we're going to put one more pat of this on there. Just like that, okay? And we'll get this other rack on here like this. And again, meat side down, just like that, okay? And then the final step, And what do you know? A little bit more butter, because we want that fat and rendering to go down on the back of these ribs. St. Louis ribs in particular have a lot of meat around them on both sides. So you want to take extra care to make sure that that meat is rendering down and becoming delicious, which these are gonna be. Again, so we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap these down. I'm gonna kind of seal it to make sure that none of the moisture or the steam gets out. Wrap up both ends so none of the juices or anything flows out. And again, meat side down, because we want the meat on the main side of the ribs to render down real good. You know what, I gotta tell you guys, as I'm wrapping these up and getting ready to take them out, you know, it's funny, it actually makes me really remember all the times that I've done this and all the times I've been together with family and friends enjoying these ribs. It really does make you realize how food brings people together. It makes me smile, makes me feel good, and to see other people enjoy it and other people smile, it's really what it's all about for me. And I think you probably feel the same way too. So look, let's get these back out on the smoker and get them finished up. All right, guys, so we got those back on. You know, one of the biggest questions we get when we're smoking stuff is what the temperature should be. How long should I cook them? Honestly, it's really gonna depend a lot on every individual smoker. They've all got different ways they, you know, perform and whatnot. I've gotten so used to mine that I could do this all by sight and by feel. Whether you should temp them or not, I'll leave that up to you. I always temp them right at the very end, and I recommend that you do too. Look, my time and temperature recommendations, that's what I know about my grill and about my experience doing it, but I just wanna make sure that you're always checking the right temp and what's gonna be the right temp for the meat that you're preparing and whatever's the food standard. Because it's different for chicken, it's different for beef, it's different for pork. And look, the last thing we want is anybody to get sick from eating undercooked food, so be sure that you temp your stuff before you eat it. And I'll take a quick temp of mine before we actually eat it as well. So these are gonna be ready in about 2 hours. We're gonna pull them off and we'll check them out. All right, guys, it's been just about an hour now, so we're gonna go give these a check and see how they're doing, see if it's time to pull them off. Check the temperature too to make sure they're good to go, so let's go take a look. Oh yeah, so you can really tell that they're getting there because of all the bone exposure. Yeah, these ones are done for sure. So take a look at the other rack. Oh yeah. Mind you, these are the backs too, so they're gonna look even better on the front. You can see how those bones are pulling back across there. That's how you can tell they're ready to go. So we're gonna get these off and get them inside, get them completely unwrapped and take a look at them. All right, guys, so we're back inside, but like I said earlier, we are gonna give them a quick temp check just to make sure before we take them off and start cutting them up. It is important that they are to the right temperature. I like to see mine in the mid to high 190s or around 200, so take a look here. As you can see, 190, 192, so mid 190s is real good. Okay, we'll go over to this set here. I have a feeling these ones are gonna be a little bit hotter. Yeah. So these are great. All right, these are in good shape here. So we'll get these off and get them sliced up and give them a taste test. Like with any kind of meat that you cook, you want to let them rest. Unlike a roast or like a pork butt or something, you have to rest for like a couple, 2-3 hours, or a brisket for several hours. Ribs really only need to rest maybe 20, 30 minutes at the most. But it is going to let all those juices reincorporate back into the meat. And it also lets them firm up a little bit. Ooh, you can see that. See that little spring you got right there? Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at that, huh? Oh yeah, see that's Alan's end right there. All right, so like I said, we're gonna let these rest about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the most, and we'll get back here and I'm gonna glaze these with a little bit of barbecue sauce on this set, because we're gonna do this set with just the dry rub, and this other set we're gonna do with the glaze and some barbecue sauce on them, just to kind of enhance that flavor. So in fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. Let me grab Killer Hogs back out of the fridge. We're just gonna run some down the middle and then I'll brush it off, brush it around. You want to put too much on here, look, you can always add more after the fact to your guest's taste or your taste. You know, a lot of folks cut them up and they dip them as they go to get extra sauce on there. I don't like to put too much on there because I don't want it to be too messy and too sticky. And this barbecue sauce has so much flavor, you don't need that much anyway. So I think those are good to go. I'm gonna let those set up, then we're gonna cut them. And then Jake and I are both gonna take a taste and see which one we think we prefer. Boy, I tell you, you know what? We probably should wait a couple more minutes, but I can't wait any longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut them up right now. And with my trusty Dexter knife, I tell you what, Dexter brand knives are fantastic. You can get these on Amazon too. We'll put a link down below. I've been using, again, these for a few years since I've been serious about this. I own their entire set. They're fantastic knives and very affordable too. So we'll go ahead and get these a cut here. Oh yeah, just like butter. Gonna go ahead and take the best ones out of the middle here. Oh my, yeah. That. Get over here to the non-sauced ones. I can already tell the texture on these ones will be a little bit stiffer on the outside. I'm gonna have a little bit more chew. I honestly like my ribs to be a little drier. So I have a feeling I'm gonna like these ones just as much. So I'll tell you what, we'll be right back and we're gonna give these a taste. All right, we're back, guys. We're getting ready to try these. I don't know about you, Jake, but I'm excited. What do you think?
I mean, hello world, by the way.
Hello, this is Jake, by the way.
Ribs look fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
We've had these ribs probably what, I don't know, a couple hundred times at this point.
Yeah.
And they're very good, but I'm really excited to compare and contrast the two because we have done, or I should say you have done, sauced and dry, but
Right.
we've never done them in the same batch before.
Correct.
So trying them side by side is gonna be really interesting. But Alan is just a complete killer pro on the pellet grill, and this is going to be very good. So
No, I'm excited. Yeah, let's go for it. So let's go with the dry rub one first.
Okay.
See how that works out.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. See. Still super moist. Mm-hmm. Got more of a bark profile to it. The sauced ones are probably gonna have a little less bark crunch to them.
They're falling apart.
Falling apart, which is a good thing. Oh yeah.
So right away, you can tell the seasoning on the top. The bark's really good because it's tacky almost. And I really like, the drier part of the brisket with the chew. The top's really good, but it's not overdone.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really, really good. See how the sauce ones compare. What do you think?
I'm gonna say that the sauced ones are gonna be our favorite, but we'll see. Cheers.
Oh. You know what? If I could pat myself on the back right now, I probably would. That'd look kind of odd though, right? Yeah, you can pat me on the back.
I can't even eat them because
Okay.
Oh my God.
So, mouth's full, super rude to talk.
No. They're enjoying it with us. You can hear it. We just need to invent smell-o-vision so they can smell.
I'll tell you what, just cook some of these at home and eat them while you watch our video.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll know. Boy.
I will say these ones have a better texture on the top.
Yeah.
So it's almost like maybe maybe put some barbecue sauce over the top of them when they're finished, just to get some extra
Or
flavor.
maybe just dip them.
Yeah, dip
Yeah,
them.
dip them when you eat. A lot of people do that, like different types of sauces. Yeah.
I mean, they're both absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you guys don't have a rib recipe that you trust that's super reliable, you got to try these ones.
It is. They're really hard to beat.
It's hard to mess them up, but Alan has it down to a science, and there's a trillion different other people making ribs on YouTube, but what I hope that you get from this is the love and care that Alan puts into this.
I try.
Like he said earlier, like all the memories of the ribs.
So
I have
true.
the same memories of eating these ribs at those family events. So
Isn't it funny how like smells and tastes can just trigger those kind of memories? I think everybody has an example or some experience they've had in their life where they eat something or smell something and it makes me think of.
Yeah.
That's what these ribs do for us. It does for me about all the times we've had family and friends and get-togethers, and like I said, this sounds corny, but it really warms my heart when I see people enjoy the product that I create or enjoy the thing that I created for them.
Yeah.
And I think most people can relate to that in some way. So
Yeah.
look guys, we're so glad you were here with us. We're so glad you helped us in this. And I want to say that I thank you so much, and we're just getting started on this. So look, if you could see in your heart to go down and hit that subscribe button, that would be great to help us out, to help support us. And I tell you what too, if you ever, or if you have any ideas.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna
Yeah, he's just gonna. If you have any ideas or recipes or anything you'd like to see us smoke or grill or anything, I tell you what, the next thing we're gonna do is I think we're gonna hit the Blackstone. I'm gonna let Jake take the reins because he's the Blackstone master.
Yeah, let me know what you want to cook on there. I've got a couple ideas, but I respond well to requests in the in the comments.
Yeah, and we want to do what you as our followers and as our subscribers and people who watch us, what interests you. We're not trying to get you interested in what we want. We want to know what you want. So look, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you'll know the next time, because we're gonna have lots of content coming out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. And I tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're in the kitchen, you're in your backyard, you're at a tailgate. One thing is for sure, we should grill, so should you.
So should you. These are really good. These are really, really, really good.